were there ever moments when you thought, "Uh-oh, I might be jumping over into waters over my head here"? Did you ever have that fear of failure grip you, and how did you handle that?
Yeah, this may sound corny, but I've never had that. Um, you know,
Seriously?
yes, I'm completely serious about this. Um, to the extent where, I remember about 10 years ago, I was part of an executive offsite, and this was sort of a team building offsite. And we did a hopes and fears exercise where all the executives, pretty accomplished executives in our industry, talked about what their personal fears were. And everybody's fear was the fear of failure. So this is really common. My fear was a fear of being boxed in.
Hmm.
The fear of failure never crossed my mind. And there's maybe a couple of things responsible for that. First of all, that I've always been focused on learning and not accomplishment. I've always looked at, next assignments, next work challenges as, what can I learn and how does that make me better versus, how does it make me look good or how does it make me more successful? Thinking that success will be the outcome of a focus on learning because I look at a career as a lifelong journey of learning. Second, I've always surrounded myself with good people, people who were mentors, people who were able to give me good advice, ideally people with different backgrounds than me, because I believe that diversity of thought creates better decisions. And then lastly, I've always not just used data, but intuition. I've always made intuition a really big basis for how I make decisions, both on the job as well as in my personal life. And perhaps a combination of all of those has never made me feel like I have to be afraid of anything. That's maybe one thing that is a characteristic of myself that I'm most proud of, that I can go where others may not necessarily want to go because um, fear is not something I necessarily have. I have respect, and I certainly want to think through what failure could look like and what consequences could look like, and then I try to plan to avoid failure, but not afraid of it.
That's one of the most unexpected answers I've ever had. I mean, every leader up until now has said, "Oh yeah, I fear failure all the time," or at least I've had it in the past. And so
Yeah,
that's interesting. I'm going to keep that in mind. The recipe is intuition, diverse mentors, and and fear of being boxed in. Right?
yeah,
Did I get that
and
right?
focus on learning. I've certainly failed many times in my life, but I've always learned something, and I think that's always made me better.